They say when a person dies, something leaves the body, something weightless yet heavy with meaning, something no microscope can see and no machine can measure. In 1907, one man dared to try, a physician named Dr. Duncan MacDougall. He wasn't chasing ghosts or religion, he was chasing proof, a proof that the soul was real. It began in a dimly lit hospital in Massachusetts. MacDougall, fascinated by death, believed that if the soul was real, it had to obey physical law. So he built something no one had before. A bed scale, sensitive enough to detect a single gram of weight loss. And upon that scale, he placed his dying patients. He sat beside them for hours, waiting, listening to the breath slow, counting the seconds between life and silence. And then it happened. At the exact moment of death, the needle dropped. Not by much, not enough to blame on air or breath, but exactly 21 grams. He recorded it carefully, and when it happened again and again, MacDougall's obsession turned into belief. He thought he had proven the impossible, that the human soul weighs 21 grams. The news spread quickly. "The soul has weight," screamed the headlines, but with fame came ridicule. His peers mocked him. Religious leaders refused to comment. And late at night, alone in his lab, MacDougall began to feel watched. He'd hear the creak of the scale when no one was near it. He'd swear the air grew heavier after sunset. The nurses said that when a patient died, the room always became colder, as if something unseen had just arrived. He tried to ignore it. He told himself it was imagination. But deep down he knew he had touched something beyond science. Desperate to silence his critics, MacDougall turned to animals. He tested 15 dogs, healthy, then euthanized for comparison. But this time, no weight change, no 21 grams. The conclusion terrified him more than it reassured. If animals had no soul, then what exactly separated man from beast? He wrote in his notes, "There is a distinct loss of substance in humans, not found in any animal, as though a unique energy departs." But that energy, whatever it was, didn't just depart. It seemed to linger. The hospital staff started complaining of strange sensations. One nurse swore she saw a shadow rise from a patient's chest. Another claimed she smelled iron out like blood and static. In an empty room, MacDougall didn't believe them. Until one night the scale shifted by 21 grams when no one was lying on it. MacDougall began to keep the scale under lock and key, but he couldn't stop hearing it move. He'd wake to faint clinking metal in the darkness and the smell of ether and burnt dust. One evening he walked into the lab and found the door ajar. Inside, the scale arm was trembling, not from wind, not from vibration. It was as if something invisible was standing on it and then stepping off. He backed away, terrified. The papers mocked him as delusional. His colleagues turned their backs, but MacDougall couldn't unsee what he'd witnessed. He wrote, trembling, "There are forces at work that are aware of my measurements." Historians mentioned 6 experiments, but MacDougall's private journal hinted at a 7th. The record was never published. Only fragments survived. He wrote of a patient who resisted death, whose weight rose and fell several times before the final breath. The last note reads, "The 21 grams left and then returned. The body exhaled twice after death." That patient's name was never revealed. The bed and journals disappeared soon after. Some say MacDougall destroyed them. Others claim the hospital burned them out of fear. But there's one report of a medical assistant who vanished after claiming he'd seen a figure of smoke hovering above the scale. Years passed. MacDougall died in 1920, alone, discredited, and buried in an unmarked grave. But the 21-gram mystery wouldn't rest. In labs across Europe and the US, scientists tried to replicate his results. All failed or claimed to. Yet even modern research can't fully explain the sudden micro-weight drops observed in some clinical deaths. Some call it gas release. Others call it body temperature contraction. But none could match the exact 21 grams. The number lived on, in books, in cinema, in whispers. It became more than data. It became a myth, a haunting echo of man's hunger to weigh the divine. What if MacDougall was right? What if consciousness truly carries mass? A form of energy that leaves our bodies when we die? Physicists say energy can't be created or destroyed, only transformed. So maybe that 21 grams doesn't vanish. Maybe it travels. Maybe it becomes part of the current of existence, the unseen pulse of reality itself. And perhaps when he tried to measure it, MacDougall opened a door that was never meant to be touched. Today, the hospital where the experiments took place is gone, demolished decades ago. But locals still claim that strange things happen on the old site. Compasses spin, cameras fail, and at night some hear a ticking sound, as if a scale is still waiting for its final reading. MacDougall wanted proof. Instead, he found the weight of curiosity and the burden of knowing. Maybe the soul cannot be weighed, not in grams or equations, but in the echo it leaves behind. Maybe the true weight of the soul is the guilt, the love, the fear, and the memories that linger after we're gone. So when you die and 21 grams slip into the silence, ask yourself, is it just air escaping your lungs, or is it something that remembers who you were? This is the story of the man who tried to measure the soul, and the souls that measured him back.